Good stunning body kick again.
Warriors' voice will be heard. Whoa. That's right.
Yes, sir. We are back, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm highly pissed. Restream, get your fucking shit together. I am so hot right now. Listen, we had the interim lightweight world champion of Karate Combat, my man Shazibran, scheduled to come on at 12. He was here on time. Everything was great, but Restream and their phone, whatever they have going on with the extension, is not allowing anybody to call in through phone. So, unfortunately, we don't have Shazam today. Now, we did talk to him before the show, and we're going to schedule something for next week, early next week, and we're going to put out a video for y'all. But I am extremely upset, and I'm extremely sorry that we couldn't have him today. I promise you we tried. I tried calling from my phone. I can show y'all how it looks. It looks insane. It just doesn't even show you anything. We thought maybe it was a signal issue with him because he just left the gym, but it wasn't. It wasn't that at all. So I'm so mad that I have to start the show off this way. I love starting the show off on a hype note, but this is a sad one because everybody loves Shazam. We love Shazam. We had a great conversation we wanted to have with him. And he's got an upcoming fight. We want to know what's going on. He's got a really tough opponent. It's one of the toughest opponents he had to fight yet. They keep getting tougher and tougher for him. And we wanted to give it just getting to talk with him, you know what I mean? But I can't even speak because I'm so pissed right now. Like, I don't understand. I'm highly upset, but I'm gonna try to get past that. We got a lot of other shit to talk about. I mean, this does open up doors for us to talk about some more stuff that I had to take off the schedule that we could talk about now, but fuck it, we're here. Warriors Voice, let's go. Episode 19. Sorry we had to start off like that, but we're gonna get to it. I got my man MMA Pickers. I got my man Mac Tyson right now. My boy Mallory is somewhere in France eating baguettes. I don't fucking know. This man is in London, France. He's been everywhere, all over Europe. He's too famous for us anymore, so he's not here this week, but he will be back next week. And we have Edgar Scrivers next week on top of who else we have? Macaco Flow. Yeah, so we got former champ and current champ coming on next week. And we would have had
a third person if we got the time for it.
Yes, we might actually have a third person. We got a time for it. Me and Mac were speaking about that. So, like I said, highly upset about Shazam. We will get that interview done for you guys. I promise. Even if we got to go do it in person. I don't know. You boys coming down? Y'all two coming out of Miami? Anybody coming down?
Not sure yet.
No. Not sure. All right, we'll figure that out later. All right, but other than that, like I said, I got MMA Pickers, Mac Tyson with me. How you boys feeling today? Second episode of the year.
Fantastic. UFC is back this week. We're alive again. Colors are brighter. I can smell things better. Everything is. The world is back as it should be. I'm ready, baby.
It just felt like you had COVID. That's how good it is. That's how good it is. UFC came back. I just got a Pokemon pack at the same time. I know you knew that sound right there. You know what I'm saying? But yo, dude, I'm so happy. The UFC drought is over. I don't know. Me and my girl have been in here on Saturdays. Like, what the fuck do we do? Like, what do you do? We don't know what to do. Every Saturday, we watch UFC and eat Wingstop. That's what we fucking do.
Watch
I'm on
UFC 100 last week.
Bro, every Saturday is full off UFC. You know why? We're betting on DraftKings, we're eating Wingstop, and we're watching UFC. I might crack open a Monster or two. So my weekends are completely fucking UFC, bro. And I did, and yeah, it just didn't work out for me. So it is what it is, dude. But it's back. Mac, how you feeling? I know you're not the biggest UFC fan, but you know, UFC is back, and we got Karate Combat coming up in like what? Not even 2 weeks.
It's actually not that. I am actually a huge UFC fan. It's just I've heard other people talk about it. Like when you work in the industry and you work all the time around fighting, and you have to be watching and keeping up to date so much about your own organization, it gets tiring to watch a bunch of other combat sports. Now, I'm one of those crazy ones.
I agree.
Like, I remember distinctly after a event in Dominican Republic, us all, me, some of the people, the media, and Sam Alvey all huddling around a phone on the way back to the resort watching a UFC card.
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
Plenty
I'm
of
still dedicated,
yeah.
but it's
Plenty
just
of
like
them.
there's less time now
Yeah,
to really
100%.
follow UFC.
Yeah, you do cover a lot of stuff in the karate world, but same here. I feel like the same with the UFC and Karate Combat. I'm so embedded in that, so it's hard for me to pay attention to all of the Muay Thai stuff, all of the even like the other leagues like PFL, Bellator. I never really watched one championship. The only person I really liked over there was Mike. He's gone, so it's like I already watched that.
Rod Tang, he's pretty good.
Oh yeah, wrestling's amazing. I mean,
If you're
no,
watching
like
one
certain
for
people you don't have to
MMA,
discuss.
it's really
Right?
only like the female divisions right now that are
Oh
really
yeah,
good.
like Stamp, Fairtex, all of them. Yeah, yeah, and that's the people I know, right? I know about those people. It's just the rest of them I don't know
Yeah,
about.
you should.
You know what I'm
If
saying?
you're
Like,
watching one right now, it's more for like kickboxing and Muay Thai.
yeah,
Which
100%. Because that's where they specialize. I mean, being out where they are, the regionally based, it's kind of like where they specialize. But enough about one championship
I
because
mean, this isn't a one show. We're literally one championship is going on right now as we do this episode. People that are tuning into us are not one fans.
Nope, not at fucking all. And speaking of not being one fans, neither is Karate Combat. Listen, shout out our sponsor, Karate Combat. You always got to show love to the sponsor before we get into the show. Make sure you download the app if you haven't already. You can vote on your favorite fighters. And listen to this. Here's the kicker, right? If you vote, you can win, but you can lose. So that means if you win, you get your money. If you lose, you get it back, right? So you win, profit, you lose, nothing. You're back at the same spot, right? Right where you started, start again next card. Download it now. You get free 88 tokens to do that. Also, those tokens give you governance into the league. You're able to make decisions when they present themselves. We made like 6 or 7 decisions last year. It was insane. I mean, from rule changes to anything like fight of the night bonuses, whatever, you name it. And listen, if you download the app right now, this is the best part about it, right? I'm going to close that down. But if you look at the bottom of our screen, not that one, look at this one right here. If you look at that right there and you download the app, go in the redeem section and put in that code down below, you get 2,500 tokens. Now, listen, I just posted it today on my Twitter. If you watch for the last 6 weeks, you would be up 20K karate tokens. Crazy. You'd be up 20K karate tokens, not $20,000. Let's get it correct. 20K karate tokens. And then you can't lose those. So if you keep betting, guess what? It just keeps getting better. So make sure you download the Karate Combat app. Make sure you put it in redeem. We do those every freaking week. We have a new code every week. So don't think you're just going to come and try to do the same code. You got to come by. You got to watch the show. That's how we look out for our viewers because we love you guys so much. And we also give you our picks as expert analysts on this shit, right? I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but these two motherfuckers up top are, all right?
You have a pretty good betting record, I would say.
Now, I have a really good one with Karate Combat. I wouldn't say UFC. I didn't start really getting money in UFC until I met MMA pickers. That says a lot. And this is why a lot of people stick around to the end of the show because they make a lot of money with them as well. Trust me, I was just telling him, my phone has been blowing up. People wait. Like, I have to send the bet video out to people because people's always like, what's your UFC picks? Your UFC picks? Go watch the video, bro. Go watch my man pickers. He got you. He's going to lock you in. So we'll get to that at the end of the show. But let's talk about some updates in the combat sports world. We have UFC Vegas 101 coming up. I know this one is great for all of the creeps and all of our little freaky boys in the UFC. They get to see Mackenzie Dern do her Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which, you know, every time Mackenzie Dern fight comes on, man, it's a lot of very suspective memes put out there of her and what she does. But negate all of that, she is an amazing fighter. She's an amazing Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, and her opponent is great.
And she keeps improving. Her striking is getting better.
She was just talking about that. And also, another thing I want to mention too is I'm going to pull this clip up. Hopefully we can fucking hear it because every time I pull up a clip, we can't hear shit. But I'm going to pull this up. Before we get into talking about some of the prospects, I want to get to MMA Pickers because MMA Pickers has quite a few prospects he wants to talk about, quite a few that we've been paying attention to for a while. But before we do that, it was a really cool part of this interview, and I just have to find the link that I sent because I sent it to Larpin earlier. Here it is. All right, so it's a really cool part of the interview where I was watching earlier at Mackenzie Dern's press conference, and she mentioned something, and I know we're on the UFC part right now, but this kind of intertwines with UFC and Karate Combat, which the show is about, right?
Exhibition series.
Yes.
CJI.
So can you guys
talk about your
okay, good.
your experience with that, and are you looking to go back and do it again?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, CGI was a great experience, you know, with the with the pit, you know, it's different. I was like, oh yeah, I fight in the cage. It's very similar. You know, when I went to the pit, it was like the wrong angles, you know, everything completely. And I had just fought Lupita, like maybe I think it was 12 days before. So it was for me just to get back in there too. Kind of like when I fought Amanda the first time, you know, I came back in, but it was.
But so she goes more into like basically like talking about like how much Craig is doing for the jiu-jitsu community, which we all know, right? Doing a great job. Promotions are amazing. It's bringing a lot of eyes to the sport. But the main thing I want to get at on that is her being in the pit and thinking, right? Like we all know, right? The pit is a different animal. And I texted that to Larpin, right? Because he was like, the pit. And I was like, the pit is a different animal, right? Because it is, right? It's not what you think it is. You get in there, you're like, oh, I fought in all types of stuff. I boxed, I fought in rings, I fought an octagon. No, you get in there, it's a whole different animal. You can't back up. You put yourself at a very bad leverage. It's not like a pit where you can get some type of stability from moving back. No, you're gonna lose stability from moving backwards, right? So it just shows that somebody at a high level as Mackenzie Dern, right, getting in there and realizing that this is a totally different game, and the entire structure of the pit changes the entire dynamic of any fight, right? Any bout, if it's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or it's fighting. And I thought that was real cool.
Not
so
only that, like the other interesting thing about the pit compared to other formats of fighting is that, yeah, getting your back placed on that pit wall is a very bad position to be in. But like the advantage of the pit wall is that you can easily change your momentum direction. So if you keep getting backed up, you can use that pit wall to bounce off and change the momentum and bringing it back more into the center. That's what makes the pit so exciting.
yeah.
And also for grappling, when it comes to the wrestling aspect, when you add in those double and single legs, it's the reason why it's not great for karate combat, but for jiu-jitsu, it makes it easier to get the takedown with the pit walls, but with those single and double legs because of just the way physics work. But that gets you down to the ground quicker, which gets you down more to the grappling, but without the butt scooting.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised when we see full on MMA in the pit soon. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I don't feel I know I'm a minority in here, but I feel like MMA in the pit is not a great idea unless you want a grappling heavy MMA fight. If you want a grappling heavy MMA fight, then the pit is perfect. But for people that like striking, you need as soon as you bring in those double and single legs.
Yeah, it does change the dynamic.
Yeah, that's why Karate Combat doesn't have them, because it makes it more exciting for striking matches.
Yeah.
Plus, also judo takedowns are amazing, and I'm glad that with Karate Combat's focus on more like judo, karate, and Muay Thai takedowns, we see more of that no-gi judo being developed, which will translate into MMA in the future.
Yeah. We got somebody in the audience that pit seems like more of a defense liability and less chances for tricks, which is why I love it.
Well, it also produces some of the best tricks that you've ever seen in combat sports.
Talk about it. Craig Jones with the flying. No, what's the other guy who did the flying off the top ropes?
That was was that Nashville? No, that was Salt Lake, right?
That was Salt Lake, yeah. That one was insane. No grappling, it slows down the action. That's why I love Casey over UFC. Yeah, and I love Casey and UFC because I can get I could get the best of both worlds. UFC is all around everything. Casey is all around striking, right? And that's what I like. Like, I like to be able to mix it up. I like to see Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Sometimes I don't want to see 25 minutes of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu unless I need the fight to go over 3.5 rounds, right? That's it, right? I don't give a fuck. I don't really care for Jiu-Jitsu. I love a good submission. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I love a great submission. That's why Shavkat Ramanov is one of my favorites, because that motherfucker could submit you so easily. John Jones is one of my favorites because he could wrestle you and just take control of you. You can't do nothing.
When it comes to grappling,
you're at a Diddy party at that point.
I like either very high level grappling in MMA or like very low level grappling. But that mid-tier grappling, I don't like it because it's just people playing it safe and canceling each other out.
Yeah, stall grappling. That's what I hate. Actual active grappling, like when you keep seeing a bunch of defensive moves, like a bunch of like hand fighting defensive moves, like a bunch of switches of positions, just chaining together submissions, trying to get shit done back and forth. I love that shit. When you're up against the wall and it's just this entire time, I fucking hate it.
Or blanket wrestling, just doing enough ground and pound to keep it on the ground, but not actually risking.
I mean, that's okay. I'm okay with that if you put in work the first 2 rounds and you're just trying to secure your victory. I'm okay with that. If you start off like that, like Bilal's a fighter like that. He starts off like that. He just wants to get you to the ground.
I'm saying
that's control you the entire fight.
I'm saying that's your entire strategy. You're not looking to finish. It's like point fighting. Like if you're just looking for points, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. But I mean, if you want to, just go watch point fighting or boxing. Boxing is really heavy on points. Like, this is basically what it's all on.
I can enjoy a point karate match.
Oh, I love point karate. I watched majority of the Olympic karate stuff this year. So,
but like I can't
Pickers, come here.
But I can't watch like when I'm watching UFC, I'm not looking for point karate.
Yeah, facts. Nah. I mean, unless you got Michael Venom Page or Wonder Boy fighting, then I'm loving it.
But they are looking for the finish.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I love them. And that's like what Ross said last week. He was like, hey, they can say what they want. I knock motherfuckers out. He didn't say motherfuckers, but he said I knock people out. Motherfuckers just sound better. You know, I grew up watching Samuel Jackson. Motherfuckers sound better with everything. All right, but listen, not to go too deep into that, let's talk about some of these. I want to give Pickers a quick second to talk about some of these up-and-coming talents that we see in the UFC. We got a few guys coming off Dana White Contender Series that will be on this opening card this year. Let me go ahead and get the card up for you guys so you can kind of see it. But talking about UFC Vegas 101. I don't like that view. Let's try this one. There we go.
Smith.
Much better.
Is this the card that David Martinez is making his debut on? Or is that a later card?
Who is it?
David Martinez.
You talking about the one that just won the Contender Series, whose sister's in the UFC as well?
Combate Global Bantamweight Champion.
I don't think he's on this one.
Okay, because he's the one that like I'm most excited for the early year.
Oh no, yeah, he's definitely. I like him. I like him and his sister.
He had an incredible fight on Contender Series.
Oh, amazing! I love that, and I loved it for him, his sister, like, and have them both in there. I think they're the first brother-sister duo, right, to be in the UFC
from Mexico.
Oh, from Mexico, probably. Yeah, I don't know, but Jacoby Smith, another person up and coming, great talent. MMA Pickers and me are very high on this guy. We watched him come up, made a few dollars off him as well. But Pickers, how are you feeling about this fight? He got Preston Parsons, 11-5, quite shorter opponent, a little bit older, 1 inch on the reach difference. Not the best significant striker against him on paper, but going into this fight, how do you feel? I know you're very high on Jacoby.
I might sound like an idiot when I say this, and I might be proven to be an idiot, but I think Jacoby Smith is going to be the next freaking Khabib. This guy has such a high-level wrestling accolade. He's such a decorated collegiate wrestler.
And with you saying that and looking at his significant strike accuracy, fuck.
Yeah, that's
also. But look at the takedown average and shit too.
A lot of that is
87%. Yeah.
But if you guys were tailing our bets during the Contender Series on Twitter and on X, never going to get used to that. On Discord, we put a pretty hefty bet on Jacoby Smith during his Contender Series, and he did not disappoint. I believe the fight went about 9 minutes, with him logging about 8.5 minutes of ground control time. He outstruck his opponent by over 100 strikes, and he just broke this guy. It's not the boring wet blanket Bilal Muhammad grappling. He got on top of him, and there was not a second of that fight where he wasn't doing intense damage, elbows, hammer fists. Death from above. I mean, this guy's a world beater. He's going into a relatively tough debut against Preston Parsons. Preston Parsons is kind of the fighter that you were just describing, the guy that holds you up against the wall. He likes to make things dirty and physical. He's got a mixed record, but he has lost to guys who I don't think are even near Jacoby Smith's caliber, and I think Jacoby Smith is going to run right through him. This should be easy money for Jacoby Smith. And I think Jacoby Smith can go as far as anybody in the UFC. I mean, he has so much freaking talent for a debut guy. This is, to me, the most talented debutant since Bo Nickel.
That's tough. That's tough. And I'm not a. I'll tell you this: if they told me I had to watch Bo Nickel or Ian Gary for the rest of my life, I'm definitely watching Bo Nickel. But just not a huge fan of him either. But I love Jacoby Smith because I feel like he's Bo Nickel with a little more aggression. And I agree. He's one of the best debutantes we're probably going to see this year. 100%. I don't. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else. A lot of the debutants last year were like the bigger guys. I don't think anybody this year is going to be able to match it. I think between him and Austin, which we'll talk about in a second, is insane. And I don't know if you want to just go ahead and jump to him.
Sure. Let's do it.
But Austin Bashi, which I love the memes, all right, in the MMA community where they go, listen, how do I tell the world that this guy beats up 90% of the population, right? And look at this kid. 99% of the population will get absolutely mauled by this kid, bro. And if you see him on the street, you probably were drunk and you're probably out of the fight at a bar, right? And you're like trying to pick a fight with this kid, and you ended up finding out what happened when that guy picked a fight with Fight Guy, right? You're gonna get your ass kicked. You're gonna get your ass kicked, buddy. But this kid, Austin Bashi, is insane. Like, I love him. Was champ at Lights Out, right? Was it Lights Out?
Lights Out, yeah. Lights Out. He had like 5 title defenses there or something like that.
Yeah.
Champ
so
XFC also, he was champ. And he's 13-0 for his career. He's absolutely unbelievable. And 8 finishes, 3 KOs, 5 submissions, so pretty evenly balanced. He's got a real good physique too. It always comes extremely conditioned. As we saw in Contender Series, fights at an extremely high pace, just pedal to the floor the whole fight. He kept that pace going for 2 rounds, found his submission. This guy's an animal. I don't think he's quite as good as Jacoby Smith. He is quite a bit younger, to be fair.
Yeah.
He's only 23, but this dude's a savage, and this dude's going to go a long way. And how about being 13-0 at 23 as a pro? That's
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not comparing him at all because we all know where John is at, but that's Baby John Jones status. That's like getting up there.
13-0 outside of the UFC, so I'm not going to give him that accolade yet. We'll say Baby Khabib status.
Okay, Baby Khabib. We'll give Baby Khabib. We'll do that. We'll do that.
Just from Googling it seems like he did some work in Muay Thai too. So it's not like
his strike is great. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he that just tells me that this guy's been one of those guys that likes to be active. Like, give me 2 to 4 fights a year.
He literally
give me less than 2 fights a year, I'm rioting.
No, he just said in a press conference literally yesterday, I think it was, or whatever day they had the press conference. And he was like, I want to fight 4 times this year, and I'm glad that I got the fight in January because now that opens up room for me to be able to have, you know what I'm saying, those 4 fights this year. I want to be active. I'm a real active guy. Anybody's going to get it done. Like you said, in Muay Thai, his striking is great. It's amazing. And the great thing about it is his wrestling is even better.
He's got
the power. Yeah. So the thing is, he opens up a lot of these single legs, double legs, all of the stuff that gets him to a point where he has as the big advantage is by opening up a lot of this with the striking, right? And it's always been like that, right? I don't care what combat sport's always been. Striking opens up it opens up big point. It opens up big positions for you to make things happen, right? Jab. If you're in boxing, you're jabbing to open up the 2-3, to open up the combo, to just find out stuff, right? It's same thing. And he utilizes it perfectly well. And he's a great balance of things. You see a lot of people come in and they're really heavily balanced on one side, like a Mackenzie Dern, right? Mackenzie Dern, very heavily balanced on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So when she came in, she had a tough time when she going against some chicks who knew how to strike, right? Started working on her striking more, and now she's doing a lot better when she goes against these chicks with strike. She was just talking about it too. Like, I used to freeze up when I got hit. I used to go red. I used to go into alert mode, right? Like, shit is going sideways. I need to just and then start trying to do the emergency grappling, right? So I think this kid is amazing. He's coming in at a great level. His scales are very level, and I feel like he only has room to improve, right?
I do want to give some context to this matchup, though, because there are some notes that are important about Christian Rodriguez.
Let's hear it.
Christian Rodriguez is kind of the hype killer in the division. He has this bad habit of missing weight and then defeating undefeated prospects. He did it to Raul Rosas Jr.
I remember that.
And then he did it to Cameron Simon.
Yeah.
So watch the scales very carefully. And if Christian
Did they weigh in yet?
misses weight, hedge your bets.
Did they weigh in yet?
They're probably
Weighing in
weighing
now.
in now, I'd
From a
imagine.
matchmaker mindset, then I'd say what UFC is probably going for right here is this is a test for Austin to see how quickly we move him up the division.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they got quite a few.
gatekeeper for undefeated prospects. So.
Yeah. They're pitting up you put up the undefeated prospect against the boogeyman. See what happens, right? And if he makes it through, that's his test. That's his trial of fire.
He's got good boxing. He's a real test. You know, he has good wins.
He's in the UFC.
Sub defense. That is
Yeah.
his whole like his grappling is almost completely wrestling based. So there's a level of jiu-jitsu that's lacking. But short of that, I do think Austin Bashi can get this done. Pretty,
100%. And like I said, no disrespect to Christian Rodriguez. If you're in the UFC, you're fucking him. Like you're one of the best fighters in the fucking world, right? And we might say somebody might get smoked by somebody else, but honestly, they would smoke us any day of the week. Probably with COVID, tuberculosis, and a lot of other things, and still fuck us up, right? So it's not nothing against him, right? But also, what I want to say too is he is part of that group of talent that they're going to push this year if he can get past this test. Peyton Talbot's in there, I think, 100%.
Oh, yeah. He's already being pushed.
Austin. I think Peyton's a new Sean.
Yeah.
I don't think Sean wins. I don't think Sean gets the belt back. I think they just need to build Peyton. And to be honest, Peyton is Sean, but less controversial, which in their aspect, from a PR standpoint, from a corporate standpoint, is the best thing to do. Like I met him at the UFC after party. Was the last one I did in Vegas, 303. I met him at that one, and he fought on 303 actually. He got the crazy knockout. I think it was like two punches, and it was fucking over. I think that was 303, right? Yeah. And fucking dude was in a club, just chill as fuck, like taking pictures with everybody, having fun. He wasn't drinking at all.
He barely worked.
Yeah, he wasn't even drinking though. Dude was like chilling. Like I was there, and the chick was like handing us, because like whenever we leave, whenever I go to the UFC shit, I always get invited to the after party with the execs. So like they usually rent out the whole back section of Zook, right? So if you ever want to look, here's a little alpha. If you ever want to go to the UFC after party, it's always at Zook after T-Mobile Arena. Always. 100%. It's always at Zook. If you buy a ticket to UFC, that is a free entry into Zook that night. A lot of people don't know that. I don't know why. Like stadium be like 20, it'd be like 10,000 people, and it'd be like none of them at Zook for real. It'd just be the regular Zook people. But so we were there, and the chick was like handing us shots, and I was like, yo, like handing them around and stuff. It was like Justin Gaethje there. It was like me, Payne Talbot. I say that me like I'm somebody. Payne Talbot, fucking bunch of UFC execs, like Tanner, all of the guys that I know. But he was just like, yeah, no, I don't drink. I'm not drinking. I'm good. Let me get a water. Like, he's just fucking chill, and this kid is just like great. So him, Austin, I feel like are the top two contenders for them to push next year. And to be honest, in my opinion, I don't know. I think they might be a little more solid than Sean is. Like Sean is great. Don't get it twisted. Sean is amazing. I love Sean.
Dagestan for 2 years, he'll be a new fighter.
Yeah, I think that, but he's not gonna go. Sean is too much of an American boy to want to go over to Dagestan and learn from them. That kid lives in Arizona. Like Sean is about as American as it gets. Anybody with Sean name in America, they're about. I don't see him going over there. That would be crazy though. If he did, that would be insane.
I mean, honestly, you don't need to. America has great grapplers. You just need to find the good camps that have the great grapplers.
True, because John Jones uses I can't think of his fucking name right now. There you go.
Wink.
Yeah, 100%. But moving on from those prospects, he is going to be a great one. This fight, I absolutely fucking love. First off, I love it because shout out Chris Curtis and shout out Extreme Couture because my boy trains there. He also helped out little Alpha. He helped Python train for this fight that he just did in IFC.
Well, he's out of Extreme Couture, so that makes sense.
I loved how honest he was about fighting Pereira recently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, bro, listen. After what he did to Khalil, you be stupid to fight that man. I ain't gonna lie. Unless they offer you a bag that's like, look, life-changing, man, because I might die in there. You got to be life-changing. I listen. If I fight Alex Pereira, it has to come with my like funeral pay for all of that shit. I need all of that in the contract because that motherfucker hit like crazy. But mine is that he's not fighting for a while. We'll see him sometime this year. He probably fight another 18 times. But listen, Roman Kopylov, Chris Curtis. This fight is going to be absolutely insane. I love Action Man, and I love Roman. Roman is great. He's been coming up through the ranks. He had a tough loss in the beginning, I think it was. And since then, it's just been killing it, dude. Like, he had a lot. You know what my favorite fight from him was? What was the dude's name? It ended with a D or an M. It's the one where he kept kicking him in the side, right? He kept hitting him right here in the side. And then he just reached in and sniped and just tapped him right in the liver. I'm gonna tell you right now. Firmed. That's what it is.
Josh Fremd. Yeah.
Yes, Josh Fremd. That fight.
Josh Fremd's a kickboxer too.
Yes, and he was tearing him up with kicks, just tearing him up. Bam, 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 bam. And then literally just leaned in, sniped him right for a liver shot. Bam, right after he just kept tapping him, dude. So freaking, I'm excited to see him fight. I mean, we all know, if you watch UFC, man, you know who the fuck Action Man is, bro. This man is 31-11 for a reason. He's been in the UFC forever. He's been fighting forever. This man's one of the most exhilarating fighters in the middleweight division. Absolutely fucking sculpture of a human being. Completely chiseled to the T. And I feel like this is going to be a crazy one. Now, they literally have Chris Curtis as the underdog on this one, which he's not a big underdog, but I feel like it's a little disrespectful to put him at a plus 190. I'm just saying, a plus 115, maybe I can understand it. Even a plus 120. But you start getting over plus 150s, I was like, with Chris Curtis is like, man, this man knows how to get shit done. Like, he has had some tough losses, but he does know how to get shit done, and he has a crazy knockout power. Insane knockout power. So I'm super excited to see this fight. I know my boy Pickers has some crazy notes on this one, and we'll get more into like where we're gonna lean towards the bets in a little bit. But bro, I know you're super excited about this fight. I love middleweights. I love the middleweight division. One of my favorites.
They got power. They got power like the big guys,
speed.
and they move like the small guys.
Yes, bro. It's like the perfect in between, bro. I love it.
I gotta be honest. I actually think the lines for Chris Curtis are generous on this one, and I'll tell you why before you get mad at me.
Okay. I'm listening, Pop. I'm listening.
Chris Curtis is the man. He's hilarious on social media. I always see him commenting on the same videos on Instagram that I'm commenting on. He's got a great sense of humor, but there's something that's been missing from Chris Curtis fights since probably about 2022, and it's what you just mentioned, that knockout power. His last knockout was his fight against Buckley. And we now know that Buckley might have been a little bit undersized for the division because he's making
exactly
a welterweight. It wasn't a lack of skill. But he hasn't had a knockout since. And not only that, but his only win since has been a split decision over Marc-Andre Barriault. I'm not going to sit here and dog too much on Canadian MMA, but at UFC Canada last year, the only Canadian fighter to get a win out of all 9 of them was Jasmine Jasnovic. So that should tell you.
Well, and that's because they didn't put Jill on the card.
Yeah, that's true.
She won the last time she was in Toronto, right? Yeah, I love her.
She's the all-time UFC leader in female submissions.
It's my girl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a great interview in with her at KC, and she gave me some good stuff. But anyways, back to Chris Curtis real quick before I get distracted. Chris Curtis is getting closer to 40. He's almost 38.
Yeah.
He took an L to Kevin Gastelum.
That's a rough one.
He's a fat welterweight. Come on.
Yeah, that's a rough one. Kevin Gastelum is the fat uncle of welterweights.
I mean, he sticks to point fighting style boxing only. Yeah. I just think Roman Kopylov. I think this is going to be a striking match. I think between the two of them, they're probably going to even out in the grappling exchanges if there even are any. But I really, these are both strikers. I see this being a striking match. Chris Curtis just sticks to the boxing. He doesn't throw kicks. He doesn't really attack the body much either. He's got a real good 1-2. He's got a good jab. Kind of like a poor man's Sean Strickland in a lot of ways. Yeah. But Roman Kopylov is a complete kickboxer. He's got leg kicks. He's got head kicks. He's got body strikes. He's got all kinds of different combinations to trick you and confuse you. When you're defending as a striker, the way that I was taught and the way that I think of it is you have a certain amount of doors in front of you. There's a door in front of your
Mhm.
head. There's a door in front of your body. There's doors by your arms, legs, whatever it is. And when you are defending a sequence of strikes, you can only close a certain amount of doors. So if there's 10 doors in front of you, you can only close 7 of them.
Yeah.
It is the person on offense's job to find those 3 doors. The problem is because Kopylov has so many more weapons than Curtis, he's going to be finding those doors more often.
Yeah.
He'll either find
Yeah.
that knockout shot, or if he doesn't find the knockout shot, he's going to win a decision with striking volume.
Yeah.
And I would say the best path for Chris Curtis to win this is to find that big right hand and knock him out. But I haven't seen him do that in years. So how can I be confident he's going to do that?
Do you think the stance will have any play with this, with the fact that Kopylov likes to utilize a lot of kicks and a lot of body kicks too? Like like we talked about his fight against Josh, where he just picked him apart with body kicks, man. To the point where if you look late in the I think it's the round he stopped him in, right before he stopped him, he goes for a feint, and I mean he like literally jumps like somebody jumped out the closet to scare him, dude. Like he's just it's like really scary. Like it was like a panic jump, right? So I don't know, bro. Do you feel like the stance will be an issue for Chris or even Roman? One being ortho, one being southpaw.
I think more so than. I mean, yes, it's going to cause issues for Chris Curtis as far as defending the body shots. We know how good Kopylov is at throwing up those body kicks. He keeps them tight and he throws them at lightning speed. But I actually think that the bigger issue for Chris Curtis is going to be his he's a very bladed boxing stance, and I think that's going to leave his lead leg very vulnerable as well. And Kopylov kicks hard as hell.
Oh my god,
those leg kicks are nasty,
dude. What's the name? Josh's whole side of his
red.
was red. It was just red and swole too. You could barely in the beginning of the fight, you could kind of see his ribs. Towards the end of the fight, you couldn't even see him because there was so much swelling around just the rib cage area and all that. And you gotta think, you just keep hitting that and hitting that and hitting that, bro. That shit fucking hurts. Like I don't know if you guys have ever done any type of like conditioning training for your body for combat sports or anything like that. Shit hurts, bro. You ever got like when you're sitting there and they're dropping a 20-pound fucking weight ball or 10-pound weight ball on your fucking stomach back to back as you're doing sit-ups and shit, like shit takes a toll on you now. And that's that. Now you imagine somebody full force kicking you is the hardest amount of pressure somebody can build up to hit you with. Like
no shin pads either, bare shin.
Yeah, straight shin. Like he hit Buddy, and I mean he even blocked the front part of the kick, the back, so the foot like wrapped around and hit him right here, and he still felt it like it was like
you got a baseball cover.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, dude. Like it still fucking hurts. So yeah, man, I'm very interested in this fight. I want it to go long. I want to see what the odds are. What do they think it's gonna do? Let's see. Fight to go to distance minus 190, no 125. So yeah, they think it's going to go to distance, or think it'll at least go over 2.5.
Chris Curtis is incredibly durable.
Yeah, both of them are.
He just seems to have lost his power.
Yeah.
I mean, the power doesn't really go, but he's just not finding the power shots. But
yeah,
he hasn't had a knockout in 3 years. I love Chris Curtis. I'm not betting on Kopylov.
I'm gonna see
out of loyalty because I love Chris Curtis so much. I do think Kopylov's going to win, though. Unfortunately,
let's see if
I
can
love
get
Kopylov too. I guess it's a win-win, but I mean, that whole team at Extreme Couture. That's my favorite gym.
For real, that's your favorite gym?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I gotta take you out there then.
Dude,
we got it.
Favorite fighter.
We got it. Oh, I gotta take you out there. We gotta go to Vegas then. I might be in Vegas real
and
soon.
You got
so.
Tom Levy and
Eric's there. All of them's there. I mean, you go there, it's so chill as fuck. Cause like sometimes you be chilling, and it's like Frank Mir pop up out of nowhere, and just him and fucking Randy just fucking hanging out, chilling and shit. Like so, dude, it's insane. Like I love that gym. You got a lot of good talent there too. Like Juan, who fucking Juan from the UFC that just coached Python in his fight. UFC vet out there coaching. The Bang Muay Thai class is insane. Those guys really get it in there. So shout out everybody over there, man. My homies Keith Python, Strickland, all those guys. Yeah, we definitely got to get you out there, bro. I definitely. Whenever you come out there and we're out there, I'll take you over there. It's like
Hell yeah.
cool as fuck. It's super dope.
Yeah, there's actually a guy out of there fighting a guy from my gym for the Fury FC Championship this weekend. So.
Really? Who? Hold on. Who?
It's Shimon Smortinsky versus Sam Kilmer. You guys should go check it out.
Oh shit. Okay. I like that. And that's what I like about Extreme too. They got fighters everywhere. They just don't really have fighters in Karate Combat. It's really don't have fighters there. That's the only place that ever. Keith's like the only one who ever fought in like Karate Combat or was looking to fight in Karate Combat.
They have their IFC guy. What do you mean?
I mean, yeah, they got Python IFC. They also have Ellie. Ellie's IFC too. She trains there too. She's just on injury. She tore and ripped. Like she did a bunch of shit. So she fucked her shit. She's out of commission. I think she took out.
Usually more dangerous than the fight itself. Often.
Yeah, well, she got hurt during the fight, like first minute, I think in the fight. Chick went for a takedown, and it's kind of like a leg. I don't know Brazilian jiu-jitsu terminology, so for all you BJJ motherfuckers out there, relax, okay? It's like kind of like a leg sweep, like when you come behind, pull your leg behind their leg, push them forward, use your weight to like that. She did like one of those towards the pit wall, and what happened was when she got up under her, leg like that, what happens is she like overextended her knee. And when she came down, and so so she's been on what's the name? So yeah, they got 2 IFC fighters, Python Ellie, and then Keith's fought in Karate Combat. But then they got like Jordan Christensen who fights in BKFC. They got Chris Curtis. They got I can't think of the African guy's name, and he's the fucking champ at like
You're thinking of Sizable at PFL, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's a champ. Him there. He's a oh my god. You see that dude? No,
one of
listen.
the best MMA strikers to ever live.
Bro, watch this motherfucker lift weights. Holy shit. I walked past him. Like, bro, in like 300 where they like this big, those fucking diesel motherfuckers, and they just had like they put all the baby oil and shit on them. Like they was at a Diddy party. All right, I'm gonna stop saying Diddy party jokes today, I promise.
That's your third one.
And is it? I thought it was 2. Damn, so I still got a quota. I still can hit one more than if I'm on 2. I thought I was on. I mean, I thought I was on 2.
Am I miscounting? I'm sorry.
I thought I was on 2. If I'm on 3, I mean, I don't know. Anyways. All oiled up. I walk past this motherfucker. He's just jacked, dude. Just like it looks like he's like out of a movie, bro. And he's like perfect. It's just like, and he's sitting there just cranking weights. And that's where all that power and the speed too, because he's sitting there shadow boxing with weights. You know what I'm saying? Something I used to do too in boxing, right? You shadow box with weights, and your hands feel lighter when you punch. But dude, that dude is a beast. So yeah, Extreme Couture's got a crazy ass team. And I love watching them fight. They definitely got a lot of people coming up too.
They got 2 Karate Combat fighters too.
Who from Extreme fights at Karate Combat?
Yeah, I thought I saw some of the guys in one of the corners.
Who?
Brandon Jenkins and Sasha.
No, no, buddy. You're talking about
Brandon Jenkins leave Couture?
No. You're talking about ops right now. They are not. No. He is at the other gym, the one that they don't like.
I thought he was Extreme Couture.
Well, I can't think of it right now. It's 2 big gyms in Vegas. It's Couture's and it is what's the other one? Shit. I can't think of it. It's slipping my name right now. Marab and them train over there too. Aljo, Marab.
Sarah Longo.
No, Syndicate. Brandon Jenkins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. They do not like each other. They do not. Those are rival gyms. They do not like each other.
My bad.
Yeah, Brandon. He doesn't mean it, Brandon. I promise. He doesn't mean it, Brandon. Extreme. He doesn't mean it. Nah, it's usually me. Who is Diddy? Kidding? Oh shit. Oh, okay. I was gonna send you his. You can hit him up. You can send him some money.
Yeah, I showed up on time and I'm off the ball.
I'm weak. All right, but also I wanted to speak about one thing. I am excited to see Jose Johnson fight again, just because, not because his last performance is great, more because a 6-foot guy in his weight class is insane. Yeah, and I want to see if he can actually get it done. I want to see if maybe it was just a bad camp, or if him actually losing all of this weight to make this weight is super bad for him, right? And I think that might be what it is. It might be very unhealthy for him to be making his weight cut. Because at 6 feet, is no way he should be able to get down to 125, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I am 5'11", and I'm like 150.
I mean, he's pretty good at that weight. I know he's 1 and 2 in the UFC, but look at the guys who beat him. You have Asu Almabayev, who's going to be a future ranked fighter, and Damon Blackshear.
Yeah, Damon Blackshear is not
How
a
many twisters
stock
have
drop
there been
loss.
in the UFC? Like 4. If
Yeah,
you pull off a twister in the UFC, like all
bro.
bets are off at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's pulled one off? Korean Zombie, Bryce Mitchell, and him. I don't even know of
Yeah,
anybody else.
that's it. I can't even think of nobody else. No, insane. Yeah. Well, I want to see it, man. You think he could get this one done? Let's see. What's the
Honestly,
odds
I'm
looking
not
like?
too familiar with
The other guy, me neither.
yeah, Felipe Bunez, but I'm
Oh well,
looking at
they had him as an underdog.
right now. Seems like he's a submission artist, which is not great for Jose Johnson. He has been submitted before,
Yeah.
but I mean, seems like they just picked this guy up out of the LFA. He had a mixed record in the LFA. He has losses in promotions I haven't even heard of. I'm gonna pick Jose Johnson here.
Yeah. Fucking, what was I about to say? God damn it, dude. I just want to go to his profile. Whatever. I mean, they don't even respect him. They not even let me go to his profile. What the hell? Yeah, man, they got him as a heavy underdog. I don't know shit about this guy, to be honest with you. And they want, here you go, profile. Let's see what he's
They got
got.
Jose Johnson as a heavy underdog.
No, Bunez.
That's what I would have expected. I mean, the guy's got
Yeah.
so many losses outside the UFC. It's
He's
crazy.
LFA champ. Yeah, he was LFA champ, and he won against Hirochi, and then he came to the UFC. Oh, this is the kid that lost to Joshua Van. Oh, I remember this. Joshua Van fucked him up.
But Joshua Van.
I know.
I think he's already one of the best strikers in the division.
Yeah. Oh, he's with the Pitbull Brothers team. Okay.
That's a good team.
It's a good team. That's a great team.
On these Brazilian regional MMA scenes, you know, they're brutal.
That's a great team. Yeah, that's a great team.
Yeah.
The only thing I hate about Jose Johnson is
they formed the first fight team in Karate Combat.
the only thing I hate about Jose Johnson is his dumbass ponytail he keeps doing, bro. Like he's got to get rid of it. It's like a team.
He might have already on Sherdog. He doesn't have it.
Okay, good. No, I mean he doesn't. No, this was from the last fight. That's what I'm saying. Like this picture was from the last fight. Yeah. Okay. So I hope he changed it. It was like Timu Samurai shit. I was like, nah, bro.
We have Yuri Prohaska at home.
Yeah. It was like Yuri Prohaska 5 below version. Yeah, it was like Yuri Prohaska way left out in the sun and 5 below version. Where
Alibaba version.
Yeah, exactly. All right. But before we get into the next segment, I'm gonna stop screen sharing real quick because as always, we gotta pay tribute to those people who make sure these shows keep going. And one of the ones that's helping us grow substantially is our partners over at Brave Browser. You see, I got a little Brave hat on today. I was a little smooth with that one, you know what I'm saying? So shout out Brave Browser. If you are somebody who is really high on privacy when you're searching the web, if you're somebody who likes to get rewarded for looking at friendly ads coming from your web browser, you're somebody who likes utilizing a VPN within the browser, if you're somebody who doesn't like watching YouTube ads while you're watching YouTube, right? Download the Brave Browser. It's completely free. You can use it if you guys want a little context to people. If you're kind of old like me, you know, you're going to show your age if you say you know this. But if you used to remember Mozilla Firefox, the founder of this is one of the co-founders of Mozilla Firefox. So it is somebody who's well known in the space, somebody that they've been building out for a very long time. So download Brave Browser. Shout out them. They've been helping us grow substantially, sending out notifications for us as well. So we've been getting a lot of new people over there. So if you came over from Brave Browser, shout out everybody from the back community and shout out Brave Browser, man. Download it now, baby. All right.
Just a quick thing, though. I actually started using Brave heavily. For those people that used Firefox, honestly, I used to use Firefox a lot. It feels like Firefox, but smoother and cleaner.
100%.
So if you liked Firefox, you're gonna love Brave.
100%. Yeah, Brave is my shit. I use Brave on everything. Like literally, I lie to you not. My thing. Let me make sure it's not porn or nothing. All right. Oh shit. All right, let's not do that. I just almost fucked up everything. All right, yeah, let's not do that. All right, we're just gonna throw this over here. Whoop. All right, let's talk about it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Listen. All right. So,
put some whiskey in
baby, just a little bit. Let me sip some more. Hold on. Y'all like this? That's dope, right?
Yeah.
I got that straight from Dana. Nah, not really straight from Dana, but at the headquarters. Yeah, so you could kind of say it was straight from Dana, but
with Jamal,
not necessarily. Yeah. I actually got that at Power Slap during UFC 300.
Nice.
I had Power Slap at the Apex, and we got invited out. which was real dope. I met mad people that night. I met Bradley Martin. That's the first time I met Jason Manley. I met Sketch. I met Aiden. I met Ilya Taporia.
Is he really 260, bro?
Who?
Riley Martin.
Oh yeah, he's huge. He's fucking massive. That dude's massive.
Thanks,
He's at Karate Combat too. That's the second time I met him. Yeah, that's the second time I met him.
We
Actually,
get Riley Martin versus Mike O'Hearn. That'd be a great match.
oh dude, it's hilarious. But what was I saying? Fuck. Oh, well, yeah, that's where I got this from. Yeah, I got this, and then I stole. Well, I didn't steal, but Dana, don't kill me. Yeah, I was gonna throw them away anyways. I took a bunch of UFC 300 primes. I may have took a bunch and brought them home to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? She may have flipped a few in school. Who knows? You know, them primes be going for some bread. And that's one thing. Those kids, they know how to hustle. They be getting different primes from different regions and buying them and reselling them at school for like 20, 30, 40 bucks. She had a kid pay her like 50 bucks for one of them shits. Like insane. Yeah. So I was like, dude, yeah, well, keep a few for yourself. You know what I'm saying? But do what you do. I don't give a fuck. I brought them over for you to drink. You're going to make some money. Dad's not arguing. Let me hold $5. But anyway.
There it is.
Let me hold $5.
You gotta get your cut, right?
Gotta get my cut. Daddy tax. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we gotta keep these lights on, baby girl. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I got this cover. I'm tangenting. Let me shut the fuck up. Let's get into Karate Combat. All right, KC52 is coming up. We got a lot of updates, a lot of new news. This is Mac Tyson's favorite part of the fucking show, baby. He gets to show you guys why we call him the encyclopedia of fucking karate. We got quite a few things that happened. Oh, I threw my tablet, which had my actual notes on it. All right, let's grab that back. Fucking goofy, dude. All right. So, and I know my shit. I just want to make sure I do it in order. All right. So first thing, let's start off. We got two returning big fighters that had really amazing debuts. Actually, two fighters who had KO debuts and are coming back. So those two are Rebellis Despange and Aileen Pereira, which is the sister of Alex Pereira. We have two of them coming in fighting two debutantes to Karate Combat, but not debutantes to MMA or the scene at all. We'll start with Rebellis. Rebellis is fighting Marcos Brigagio. I think I said that right. Brigagio. Which is I want to say, was he DWCS? I think Dana White Contender Series.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, he was a Dana White Contender Series finalist, but he didn't win. But still, being Dana White Contender Series finalist means that you made it to the top cream of the crop, and you basically had a job interview for like Google or something, right? Like you're right there. You just didn't. You're like, we like you, just not now, kind of situation, right? So he's coming to Karate Combat. This will be his debut fight. He's going against Rebellis Despange. In my opinion, it's not a great idea for anybody to fight Rebellis Despange, but hey, to each his own. Whatever you want to do. Hey, if the money's right, do your thing, buddy. But the way this
general surgeon mandate the health warning.
yeah, literally. Like, I think contracts for fights with him should come with a little shit that they put on the cigarettes in Singapore. Yeah, there should be pictures of all of the people laid out on the pit and the mats that he did, and like, listen, warning, this could happen to you, right? Fighting Rebellis Despange, because his wins are a total of like, and listen, it was a total of 14 seconds before his Karate Combat fight, right? I think now it's like only 17 seconds. He probably added 3 to the bitch. That's it. This motherfucker's highlight reel is 17 seconds because it's all punches that knock the motherfucker out. Yeah. This man's his entire combat career, he has not spent a full match in the ring at all.
Take a smoke break and you can watch his whole career on your phone before you finish your cigarette.
Like, if you ever had to prefer a Rebellis Despange for a podcast,
2 last UFC fights.
Yeah, those were kind of lengthy because he got mauled around, just dragged around. But none of that happens in Karate Combat. In Karate Combat, striking is king. Striking rules all. Yes, grappling, yes, clinching does have a say-so, and it's becoming something that's becoming more dominant in the sport. But if you can knock a motherfucker out before they could grab you, ain't nothing they can do. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. You can do all this all you want. If you're going to the ground, it don't matter. You're just gonna be looking like you falling down the cliff. You're not doing shit. All right. So
the fact is, all the aspects of like a sprawl and brawl strategy of MMA exists in Karate Combat. So when it comes to the grappling, his entire grappling focus has been focused on all the stuff that's legal in
Yeah.
Karate Combat, and where he struggled is all the stuff that isn't.
100%. Exactly. And that's why I feel like he's going to be key here. Now, nothing against his opponent, but I mean, when you look at it, man, it is what it is. Do you guys have any I mean, I know you know a little bit about Marcos, MMA pickers.
Yep.
Is there anything that stands out that makes you think like maybe there's a sliver of light here for him to be able to be Rebellis, or do we see Rebellis running through this one again and possibly, I mean, getting a title shot pretty soon?
I mean, no, I don't. I did get a chance to check out his last fight. He just fought bare knuckle MMA on Game Bread.
Yeah, I seen that one too.
Got knocked out in the first round pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just been beaten a bunch by a bunch of people I've never heard of. This is how I look at Robellis. If UFC had Karate Combat rules, Robellis would be a title contender today.
100%.
In the UFC.
Yes.
Karate Combat does have Karate Combat rules. And the caliber of fighters that he's going to fight in there, because they're just starting the division now, there is going to, I mean, Matt can probably speak to this more than me. I know you're involved with the matchmaking, but I would assume that there is going to be, but there is going to be a period where they're just going to have to take who they can get and who's available. But I don't think the last opponent nor this opponent is anywhere near the striking caliber of Robellis, who has literally medaled in the Olympics in striking events.
Yeah. He's
an Olympic athlete. I mean, let's not forget.
Let's not forget.
Aside from all of that, he has 50 freaking pounds and 5 inches on this guy. Aside from being more technically skilled.
Yeah. And that's the thing about the super heavyweight division with Karate Combat starting it up is there is no weight limit. You could literally, I'm waiting for the sumo guys. Bring them on, baby. You're going to have to open up the gate for them. I'm sorry. You can't have them coming off the side of the pit walls, bro.
Honestly, there's 2 heavyweights in Ryzen that I would like to see in Karate Combat's heavyweight division.
Heavyweight or super heavyweight division? Well, is this super heavyweight?
Ryzen's heavyweight or super heavyweight.
Yeah, I'm about to say. So they did keep Sam at heavyweight instead of dropping him down to light heavyweight. And then they just moved up to super heavyweight.
It seems to be that.
Yeah, I think that's the main issue they're gonna have is just find motherfuckers who want to fight him and find motherfuckers who have the caliber that make a good fight with him, or it's just gonna be Mike Tyson all over again. It's just gonna be knocking motherfuckers out.
Which I mean, honestly,
Rebellis is gonna make an easy check.
Most people, at least for the next 2 years, I don't think anyone's gonna complain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck to be honest with you. If Rebellis knocked out every motherfucker in 2 seconds, I would love it. Don't give a damn. You know how easy it is to put money on him? It's easy.
Yeah, I honestly, it is interesting though, like the way things have shifted in the combat sports world. Because in the old days, like if I remember a story that one of my kickboxing masters told me. He was undefeated PKA middleweight champion. And the reason he got he retired from kickboxing was not because he lost his step. It was because he was getting tired of promoters telling him that he was knocking people out too quickly. Because back then they wanted to see equally matched opponents that go the distance, because with the main event, you want to get your money's worth. 100%. Now people don't care. They just want to see people getting finished.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
those holy shit.
Yeah, because that's what sells the tickets. Like as much as they want to, we want you to fight a long time. You're not about to put 3 minutes in the fucking preview for the fucking fight. You're gonna put the knockouts in. You're gonna put in the good shots in. So if I knock a motherfucker out every time, guess what? The highlight reel is straight knockouts. So relax. We gonna sell the fight. It doesn't matter. Like people did the same thing with Mike Tyson. You think them asses got shorter the next fight? No. Them asses was still in them seats. It was more asses, and the tickets cost even more. And guess what? It didn't fucking matter. You know what you came to see? You came to see him, how quick he knocked people out. Not a long fight. It is what it is. That's just who he is. And it's the same thing with Rebellis. These heavyweights, the super heavyweights, if you're expecting long fights, man, you got to have 2 fucking durable motherfuckers. Because when people are swinging hundreds of pounds of pressure at each other, somebody's going down. Somebody's going to sleep, brother.
This fight's going under 90 seconds.
Yeah, 100%. I don't see this. I don't see this fight going unless he can catch Rebellis early, and Rebellis is trying to fight his way back and can survive. It's the only way I see this fight going past that, and that's the only way you're gonna get Rebellis. You have to catch him early, or you have to be able to manage distance, which you can't because his reach is 7 feet or something.
I mean, he got cracked several times by Austin Lane pretty good.
He did, but Austin Lane also has fucking unreal long arms. Like,
I'm saying
Austin,
Robella's has a chin. He just ate it.
yeah. I was saying more in the aspect of like if other people can land those shots on him, like Austin Lane's arms are like down and past his knees too, right? He's one of those like, and no jokes, but it's like orangutan arms. It's like they have those very long arms where they can like. I don't know people see orangutans and they're like, oh, those are fucking chill. They will fuck you up, bro. Like a orangutan. I swear, if they was like, yo, a gorilla or a orangutan, I would literally want to be with the gorilla. You know why? Because the gorilla is gonna finish you quickly. The gorilla is gonna take you out. The orangutan is gonna play with you, bro. It's gonna slap you up. It's gonna grab you around, throw you around. It's just gonna play with you. It's like you. I don't want like so anybody with them type of arms. Shit, I'm thinking the same fucking thing. Long ass arms, man. I don't want. You can't even run away. Motherfucker just grab you every time. Come here. Exactly. But yeah, man. So I think the main issue is going to be to find people to fight Rebellas. But we got great matchmakers. They'll figure it out. I mean, last year they did a really.
Leo just needs to call me. I got someone that could possibly.
All right. Well, I'll shoot Leo your number, and then we could.
Oh, Leo's got my number.
Well, then we'll figure it out. We'll get it done. We'll get it done. But yeah, man, we definitely gonna get Rebellas. I think I'm gonna say we gonna get Rebellas. We definitely gonna see Rebellas. I think run up a string of victories this year. And probably one of the most active fighters. If you keep knocking people out this quickly, he's gonna be one of the most active fighters. Somebody else that I want to see active this year as well is somebody who had a debut last year that was insane. She knocked out Dee Begley in front of her brother. In front of her coach, in front of the whole entire world, and to prove to the world, like, I have my own personality, right? I do mention her brother, but I think it's more the fact to show, like, she is her own person. She is her own fighter. She has her own style, which is similar to her brother's, but also fits her perfectly, right? And she is making a name for herself, and I think Karate Combat's the perfect place for her to do that. And we get to see her fight again. Now, I don't know if, Mac, you might have an idea who she's fighting. I don't know who she's fighting yet, but I'm very excited to see her come back.
I know who they're working on. I don't know if it's locked yet. So that's why
so we'll get back to y'all next week probably with the confirmation on that. But I'll tell you this, I would like to see a little more fighting from her, and I would like to see her under pressure a little more. It might be something that might be hard to find right now because of the caliber of training that she has, and the fact that her brother's a world champion who's ran through a lot of world champions, and she trains with him constantly. She's getting a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. It's going to be hard, but I want to see her get tested because I think as combat sports fans, we love to see rising talent. We love to see people just run through divisions, but also I think we love to see a dog in a dog fight and come out and win a lot more, right? And like that's the reason why people love people like Kobe Covington or Dustin Poirier or Justin Gaethje or Max Holloway, right? Because these are guys that can go deep in the rounds with you. They can be bloodied and battered. They can be beat the fuck up, but they still know how to come out with a win. And that's the true difference to me between a real, like, live, just straight up dog fighter and somebody who's just a fighter. And I mean, it's a big difference. You have dogs and you have fighters. You have people who get in there. Yeah, you have people. Yeah. And a lot of times you see it with like the Mexican guys, the Irish guys, and it's kind of like something in their blood. It's a lot of American guys too that are like, it's regional in America. Like it's regional. It's based off where they're from. You could kind of tell, like Bryce Mitchell, you could tell he's from North Carolina. Like just crazy. It's crazy. I live out here. I know what's going on. He's crazy. It's a crazy country boy. I be around a lot of them. Went to school with a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? Crazy. Right. And you could kind of tell. So I want to see her get tested like that so that she can show that who she is, because I believe it. I told her that she could definitely be the champion for a long time. It's perfect for her with the striking, and I want to see her do it. So I'm super excited. When
it comes to who should fight her for that title, what I'd like to see them do is get the women that we already have in the division active. Like the Pitbull brothers have 2 fighters in the division, for example, Ana Luisa Ferreira and Erica Santos, who Erica wanted to fight all last year.
I want to see Erica. Yeah, Erica, she's been asking for a fight.
Yeah, so I want to see her fight like 53, 54.
Do you think these chicks are going to want to fight her, though? Sorry, chicks, ladies.
Oh, Erica,
Ladies, I apologize.
Erica already said that she would be down to
Yeah,
fight her next.
that would be super dope. I would love to see Erica her. I think that could be a good test for her. I don't know if it's a test that I'm exactly looking for.
I feel like that's one way you could do it, but personally, what I'd like to see is get Erica some wins and then have them fight for the title so that we can get a title match going as we build the division. And there are ways to build the division because, for example, Glory got rid of their well, it's weird with their female division. Like the title technically still exists, but they don't do women fights anymore.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So
That doesn't make
So like they allow pretty much their fighters to fight over in Japan, but for those Western fighters, Karate Combat's a great option.
Oh,
for
100%.
them. But the issue I wonder now is something that Ross was talking about last episode is do a lot of these kickboxers want to make the transition now to Karate Combat because of how grappling heavy it has become? Even though it's still striking focused, it's not MMA.
Listen.
It's still if your opponent has a grappling advantage, that's still a big advantage for that fight.
Take your ass, go to Thailand for a few months, get some of that clinch training in, take your ass over to Dagestan for a little bit, or go down. I'm gonna tell you right now, unless you're fighting Go Chef, I mean, I don't even know. Don't even go down. Listen, go work with Dean. Don't go work at Go Shed, man. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't advise it if you're gonna fight them, bro. And Ross said it like I never really thought about it like that. Also, too, is I don't think it's maliciously, but you're there. Like people are gonna be able to see what you can do and what you can't do. You know what I mean? They're gonna be able to pick out certain things. They're gonna be able to find things. Who knows if Arturo found out that during some type of training that they did there, right? Who knows, right?
Or one of his
exactly, right? So you gotta go, but go to Muay Thai gyms, learn the clinch training. You gotta learn grappling if you want to come in and Karate Combat. It's not something that's dominant here, but it's something that could change the way the fight goes. So it's something that you do want to up yourself on. I mean, as a martial artist, I feel like the continuous journey is learning all of these arts and basically deepening your bag of the arts that you know and what you can do. So
and Gabriel Vargas is the perfect example of a kickboxer who's been able to
evolved. He evolved a lot compared to his his fights back before all of these rule sets and changes happened to now who he is. It's a totally different guy, and he learned. But that's the thing is like it's evolution. It's just like the guys like it's either this you're gonna be the guys who learn Brazilian jiu-jitsu or you're gonna be the guys who are like I'm not doing that shit, and then you got crunched up. Like it's what it is.
And honestly, you really don't need to learn much jiu-jitsu. You just need like a blue. You just need a blue belt understanding of overall ground grappling, and like a black belt understanding in specific aspects of
simple. And I would
like scrambles, certain guards, and honestly, no-gi judo would be if that existed would be the best option for.
And then two is shit. What was I about to say? Fuck, I lost it. Whatever. But yeah. Insane. They gotta evolve. But yeah, Aileen Prayer, I kind of went a little far away from it. But yeah, excited to see her fight. And we'll see what she'll be able to do. Pickers, you got anything to say about her? I know you're probably gonna get in depth when we get an opponent locked in, but anything right now that's like
got a nasty left hook. I'm just gonna leave it.
That's all I'm gonna say. She got a nasty left hook. Exactly. Yeah.
That's another good thing about the interesting thing about the Pitbull brothers, though, is the fact that the left hook is that check left hook that is her bread and butter. That's also the bread and butter of the Pitbull brothers. So if anyone knows how to defend against it and know how to use it, it's going to be a Pitbull.
Here, but it only needs to land once from Aileen. That's the thing.
Yeah, that power is insane. It's massive, man. Something about that Chama spirit. But speaking of insane, this fight would actually be insane if they can make it happen. Now, like I said, I wasn't too excited about Enoch's call out on President Awesome after the fight, but I was very highly on him. I mean, I did like the kid. The kid fights well. He's got a great pedigree. He's got a great record. He's got a great resume as a combat fighter. And also the man standing next to him also has a great record as a combat fighter. And also somebody that I'm around people that train him, right? So Hall versus Enod. This would be absolutely insane. Uriah Hall has, like, we've talked about him on the show, expressing how he wants to fight in Karate Combat. I think he called Ben Askren, a few other people. And now on the table right now could be a potential fight with Enod. So Hall 8 KOs in middleweight in the UFC. I mean, if you watch UFC, you know who the fuck Uriah Hall is. And Enod, if you watch the last Karate Combat or you watch any, I want to say he was kickboxing. Yeah, kickboxing, 3-time kickboxing champion. So you watch any of the kickboxing scenes, you know who Enod is. So this fight could potentially be a really great fight, right? You got kind of an older veteran versus kind of like the newer upcoming guy, or I don't know, because Enod's like what, 27 or some shit. It's kind of up there, right? Let me see. I don't know, but what's the potential that we think this fight, like scale 1 to 10, scale 1 to 10, how sure are you this fight is gonna happen? I don't know why I couldn't think of the word.
Uriah Hall has actually made a Karate Combat call out before. I don't know if you were aware of this on the podcast. So
yeah, he called out Askren. Oh shit! Did we lose him? Oh, there you go. There you go.
He's definitely aware of the pit and willing to hop in some capacity. It's just, is he?
Oh yeah, Uriah Hall has been wanting to fight in the pit. Like, he wants to. He also would like to fight Luke Rockhold.
Well, he wanted to do a pit submission match with Luke Rockhold, no?
I think he actually wanted to fight him.
Oh, he called him out.
I think it was him and Askren that he called out the fight. And I think they were both on Jackson. I think they were both on Jackson podcast, which is hilarious.
And there was also a boxer that was calling him out, and he said that he'd fight him in.
Or was it Askren? It wasn't Askren. It was.
Couldn't have been.
No, it wasn't. Who did Uriah just call out? We just talked about it not too long ago. It was like episode.
Rampage Jackson, maybe.
Nah, hell no. It was somebody he was. He was saying that he was trying to fight in the UFC, and the UFC was protecting him. Why can't I think now? Now I have to look it up because I'm going to lose my
I don't even remember that.
fucking mind. Yeah. But scale to 1 to 10, how confident do y'all think this fight will happen while I look this up?
4, 3. I don't know.
Max?
Uriah Hall retired, and he's pretty much just been boxing YouTuber since he retired. An ex-NFL player. I don't know if
which didn't look that great, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, I'll tell you this. I've been around people who've trained or trained with Uriah Hall, and when it comes to fight camps, the sentiment that I get a lot is that he doesn't take them serious, right? And it shows. Like once you hear that, then you understand. Like when you seen certain shit with his fights, like the boxing match where he's just completely gassed, or like certain fights where like I would talk to people that were like helping him train during those fights, and they'd be like, yeah, he was coming in, like wasn't practicing. Like I would come in to spar him, he wouldn't show up, like this, that, and third. So like I will hope he would take it seriously because Enod is no joke. That is no joke. But also, in a contrary, Enod was a little bit gassed if you watch that fight.
And he was struggling that first round. He didn't win that first round. He got knocked out on the first minute of the fight. Uriah Hall's a whole level above Adam Rosa Ramos.
Oh, yeah.
A whole lot of levels above Adam.
Whole lot of. Even at his old age, he's a whole lot of levels. What were you about to say?
Like, I'd say, like, it depends on where Uriah Hall wants. If he fights in Karate Combat, what does he want to do? If he just wants to do some fun fights that is going to be a lot of money, they're not going to make this fight for that. But if Uriah Hall is coming in for like a multi-fight contract that is like a very lucrative multi-fight contract, he's looking for a title, then I can see this fight being made.
I think they would make it more in the contrary, with like just for it being a one-off, similar like Luke Rockhold, Joe Schilling, all of them.
If it's a one-off, there's so much better options though. You got Luke Rockhold, you got Lyoto Machida.
I don't think Leota's going to fight, bro.
Bigger draw.
I don't think Leota's going to fight. 40-some. I don't think he's going to fight. He's like late 40s.
Leota's
not saying he can't fight. I'm just saying I don't think in his mind. I think he's in sensei mode. I don't think he wants to be this teacher and the student anymore. He wants to be the teacher.
Hey, Anod fights at 205, right?
Yeah.
Didn't OSP get dropped by the UFC not too long ago? That'd be a good fight for Uriah Hall.
from my understanding with the old administration, it was more of just a purse issue with Leo.
Okay, but it's also been a while since then, but who knows, man? And I feel the same. It's like 50-50 this fight could happen. I don't think it's complete fan service. I mean, maybe for like us old heads who like Uriah Hall, for the younger generation, man, they might not. Enod's not a huge enough name on a combat sports scene to really draw
That's
too
what
much attention.
I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
I
Like,
would rather Uriah Hall versus
Uriah
somebody
Hall,
else.
if Uriah Hall's coming in to eventually fight Sam Alvey for the title,
I don't want
then that's the fight to make.
I don't want to see that fight.
Really?
Nah.
Why not?
I don't think it's gonna be what y'all think it's gonna be.
What do you think it's going to be? I want to.
Well, we don't know how Uriah Hall's going to fight on under this rule. So that's why you would make this type of fight with Jaden.
I think
That's why you don't
I
give
think
him the
Sam
title shot.
manhandles Uriah Hall. It's sad to say. I listen.
How can you say that with such confidence?
In the pit and karate combat, I don't think Uriah Hall wins that. I don't honestly, and then just how active Sam is, the way I know Sam is, how durable Sam is, how Sam will fight with broken limbs and shit like that, and the type of motivation and the shit that I hear about Uriah Hall, I just don't.
What if
think
he did a serious training camp? Then who would you pick?
Then he has the chances are extremely higher. But I just don't think that's gonna happen at late age. It's like teaching an old dog new tricks, right? Like Uriah's
probably younger, even no.
Yeah, but still, he's still in his 40s, right? And he's been doing this shit all through his 20s.
How long did you think he retired?
Uriah Hall is what? Let's see.
He retired after he fought Strickland, like what, 4 years ago?
How old is Uriah Hall?
Yeah, Uriah Hall is literally 40 years old.
Just at 40? Okay. What about, how old is Alvey?
Alvey's 38, 7?
38, 39, something like
38, 39.
That's the same.
But the difference is Sam Alvey's been active. And Uriah Hall hasn't. Like we said, Uriah Hall's fought boxers.
38.
He's fought boxers.
NFL players, basically.
Yeah. So he's not really been fighting. And that's the thing. It's like I pay all of that into account, right? It's like Sam's been active. Yes, it's not the top tier of what people would say of the UFC. He's fighting whatever you want to say, but he's active. He's actively fighting. He's actively doing shit. He's actively sparring with the top guys in the world. Yes. I'm in Vegas all the time. I never see Uriah Hall training.
No, that's all fair and well as far as what's
that also brings up a good question. If Uriah Hall gets manhandled by Sam Alvey, who the hell can beat Sam Alvey?
It's people that could beat him.
It's gonna have to be somebody from outside.
Yeah. What were you about to say, Pickers? Though
I was gonna say all that's true, but you're not looking at on the flip side the fact that, let's be honest, if you look at pinnacles of career, Uriah Hall just reached a much higher level as a fighter.
100%. 100%.
He was world class. He was top 10. He was literally one of the best on the planet at one point. And while Sam Alvey had a fantastic career and he was a great fighter, he just never reached those heights.
No, he did.
But you also have to put into a factor that the Sam Alvey we've seen in Karate Combat is not the same Sam Alvey that fought in the UFC.
Yeah, he's a lot more well-rounded.
Sam Alvey has found his stride.
And that's what I mean.
So it's like Sam Alvey now would beat Sam Alvey in his prime.
Not under UFC rule sets, no.
No way.
Not
in Karate
Combat rule sets, yes, he's way better. But at his prime, yeah.
In the world in his weight class in MMA.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, man. I could be completely wrong. I'm factoring in all of the stuff that I know on the back end about Uriah, all the stuff I've seen over the last few years. Who's been more active, who hasn't, who knows the pit a lot more, who doesn't, right? And that's what I factor in a lot of shit.
I'm just saying,
which is why if you were to make that fight of Uriah Hall versus Sam Alvey, you don't put him up, you don't do it right away. You would need to get him versus a Jaden Enod, then get him maybe one or two more fights, and then have him fight for Sam Alvey. Build that.
Do y'all think Enod beats Sam Alvey?
No.
I think he needs to work on his takedown.
I think Sam would knock that kid out.
I mean,
the way he got hit by that other dude, and I think Sam would knock him out. Sam's strong as fuck, bro. People don't understand. Sam fought that last fight with a broken hand, bro.
He's farm strong.
People don't know that shit.
Sam Alvey is not the most technical striker to exist. But he has a good fight IQ from years of experience fighting. He's tough. He hits hard, and he has good offensive grappling for.
Just remember, Sam Alvey TKO'd Antonio Arroyo, and he went into that fight with a broken hand. People don't know that.
Well,
I know that.
He just gassed him out. He just broke him.
Yeah.
How many
He went
back belly slams did he hit on him in that fight? Like 5?
But that was the smartest thing is my hands fucked up going into the fight. So I might as well just throw him around, slam him around, try to get ground and pound on the good side where my hand that's hurt is holding him and the other hand is the one I'm striking with. And that's kind of like what he went with. But yeah, Sam broke his hand before the fucking fight. Like Sam always like, it's some other crazy shit that happened before that fight. I'm not going to speak on, but it's some like fucking Sam is crazy. Like that's the other thing I know is like knowing both of the backgrounds of both of these people and the stories I've heard on both sides, because I have like 3 connections that are connected to both of them, right? So I've heard stories of both of them on like, and it's just like, I don't know. Sam to me just seems like more of the determined one and more of the disciplined one in the bunch, right? And that's just what I'm kind of basing it off of because discipline is key, bro. I like at the end of the day, I hated Kobe Bryant. I'm a Magic fan, right? We lost Shaq to them, and then they fucking beat us and took our championships, right? So I hated him, but I absolutely loved. One, I adore his playing. I adore his game. I adore the way he shoots. I adore everything. I love it. I hated the fact that he was a Laker. It wasn't the fact of Kobe Bryant. I hated the fact he was a Laker. But one thing about Kobe Bryant is he was the most disciplined person. Anybody tell you to play an Olympic team with him? He's the first guy in the gym. He's the last guy to leave. It was nothing like Michael Jordan. That's when people were like, oh, Michael was getting drunk and playing golf, bro. Kobe was in that bitch. Kobe was in there again, right? Because Kobe wasn't born with this natural ability to do shit. It all was built in and instilled. And that's like to what Mac is saying. The Sam that was in the UFC isn't the Sam now. And it's the same thing, right? It's years of discipline and just keep working and making yourself better and better and better. Yes, Father Time does have it's here and there, right? It's definitely gonna work its effects in. But if you keep yourself well oiled, you keep that WD-40 going on them bones and stuff like that, shit switches up for you, shit changes up for you. You'll be able to become a better fighter. So overall, in the Hall Enod fight, it could happen. And if it does happen, then we possibly could see this fight happen that we are talking about. Yeah, I'm here for it. I would love to see it. I want to see Uriah Hall get back in on the MMA and stop fucking boxing. So it's great. Also, I might be able to see my boy Jason Manley in the same aspect because Jason Manley always helps Uriah Hall train. So Jason Manley be there, Uriah Hall be there. I get to see Enod fight again. Let's see if he really could talk that shit. Maybe knock somebody else out again, know who the president actually is, and then ask for some money this time. You know what I'm saying? Who fucking knows? But we'll find out later.
The owner.
Yeah. He's called him everything but what the fuck he was. He's like the CEO, owner, president, founder, co-founder, chief executive officer, chief financial CFFO. He is none of those. Yeah. And I'm the custodian, motherfucker.
Oh, my God.
All right. Nah, I'm fucking with you. All right, look. One more thing. Yeah, one more thing. And I'm gonna go to my boy Mac Tyson for this one because I know you got something for me. New signing to Karate Combat. A little update here. Jacob Wyman, 22-year-old fighter, currently 2-0, pro record in the USA, and is fighting in KC for his first time. He'll be fighting in Miami, January 24th, KC 52. He won a national championship 5 times. Still fairly new to the pro scene, from what they say right here. But I watched this kid. Really good. He's from like Michigan. Yeah, he's from like Michigan or some shit, I want to say it is. Went from there out to Thailand, trained out in Thailand for a while, did a lot of fights over there. Looks like a baby. Reminds me of like the Austin Bashi, Peyton Talbot type kids. Like, just looks super young, just looks super innocent. But this kid's a monster. Don't get it fucking twisted. Watched quite a few of his fights. Striking is amazing. I mean, he comes from Muay Thai, so you already know it's very striking heavy. And he's coming to Karate Combat, which we've seen a lot lately that Karate Combat is getting a lot of the Muay Thai guys in there. Let me turn that down. Getting a lot of Muay Thai guys in there, and we love to see the mixture of different type of fighters in there. You're starting to see that boiling, melting pot of MMA, similar to like the UFC, coming to Karate Combat. Do you got any backstory on this kid for us, Mac, or anything special about him that you know that we don't?
I'd say the only thing that's really, because I'm still looking into him, I'd say the only thing that's really jumped to my eye was the fact that his last fight, at least like on Tabology, was a one Friday fight.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is just like a fighter that like we took from one, because one puts a lot of their prospects on like non-exclusive one Friday fights. and then they just keep giving them fights, and then if they keep showing themselves, then they'll sign them to something exclusive. So we got someone that got the one. He had that win, and then they took him, and while he's still young, and this is a real prospect that they can build.
Yeah, I agree. What weight class is he fighting at? I didn't even see. That's a good question.
I can
Gotta
look
be
it
a
up.
low one.
Yeah, it looks like Bantam or light.
It's gotta be Bantam. He looks tiny.
It looks like Bantam or light heavyweight. I want to say
Well,
not
not
heavyweight,
light
lightweight.
Definitely not light heavyweight. That's not gonna go well.
He said, "Where's he a light heavyweight at, motherfucker? Maybe
Yeah, he's fighting
Japan,
a bantamweight.
huh? Not even there. They got sumos. Where's he fighting at?
Hey,
He's
dude,
fighting
you
a
gotta watch
bantamweight.
UFC 1.
Okay.
The sumos got knocked out by the 160-pound kickboxers.
Bruh, crazy. Yeah, I remember that shit. UFC 1 is hilarious. If you never watched UFC 1, go watch it, bro.
Yes.
I'll tell you, my favorite old UFC fights to watch is two of them: UFC 1 and UFC 100. No, at 200 too. 200 is really good too. 200 is with John Jones. I want to say John Jones on 100 and 200.
The headline for 100 was Lesnar and who again?
Lesnar and Brock Lesnar and Frank Mir. Yeah, Frank Mir, Brock Lesnar for 100. 200 was. Oh, my UFC knowledge is bad. Maybe I need to. This is why I gotta start doing my trivia videos again, man. Fuck.
I feel like I'm gonna be way off on this, but
Let me see. UFC 200. Oh, this just said UTC. Motherfucker, I don't want to know the time. UFC 200. Let's see. All right, so UFC 200 was Nunes and Misha Tate was on that card.
oh, it's Jones DC.
Daniel.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was.
I knew it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I knew it was right, but it wasn't right, and I guess it was right and it wasn't right.
Yes. 200 was Frank Mir versus fuck, what's this guy's name?
Lesnar fought Mark Hunt.
Yeah, and then Cormier and Silva fought that one. That's when DC beat Silva. Yeah, he stepped in last minute for John Jones, right?
That fight, bro. I hate that.
Yeah,
fight.
I hated that fight too.
Why you put Silva in there with DC?
Two fights that I hated Silva did was that one and the one against the Paul kid. I hated them both. Yeah, Frankie Edgar was on this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This is great. Hey, yo, man, if you don't go back and watch this card, man, you're absolutely insane. Main card, Misha Tate, Amanda Nunes, Brock Lesnar, Mark Hunt, DC versus Silva, Jose Aldo versus Frankie Edgar, fucking Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown, John Jones versus, that one didn't. What's the name, huh?
Frankie Edgar win that fight? I assume
No,
so.
Frankie Edgar lost to Jose Aldo on that one.
Oh, okay.
Juliana Pena fought Cat. Fucking Kelvin Gastelum fought Johnny Hendricks. TJ Dillashaw versus Raphael. You had Sage Northcutt on that one. He fought Enrique Marin. And then on the early prelims, crazy. Thiago Santos was on the early prelims. Jim Miller was on the early prelims. Jagar Musai was on the early prelims. Diego Sanchez, Joe Luzon, bro. So like this card was insane, but I like you 100 better. 100 was just insane. It was like a young John Jones in that shit. You had Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir. You thought the fucking ring was gonna fucking break. It was insane. All of those slams were crazy. Those are the loudest slams I've ever heard in UFC history. Crazy, insane, bro. So yeah, UFC 100 is definitely my favorite.
One thing I respect about UFC 200 was that when John Jones pulled out of the main event, they originally had Brock Lesnar as the main event, but they switched it to be Amanda Nunes because even though Brock Lesnar was the bigger name, they respected their champions enough to make sure that the champion.
Yeah, I mean the same thing happened in 100 too. They weren't the main; they were the co-main. Because the main from 100 was John Finch and Paulo Thiago. So
I will say though,
but GSP is also on 100.
I got hyped when I saw Brock Lesnar.
Oh, dude, I ain't gonna lie. brock Lesnar was one of the like. Okay, so that's around the time where John Cena ruined wrestling for me as well. So it was like right in that transition area.
That like 2002?
Yeah. I had to throw that in there, right? Right around the time John Cena fucked everything up for me. Brock came over to, Brock had played for the Vikings, and then he came over to UFC. And I was like, oh, yeah, it's over. That's one thing. Shout out Brock Lesnar, dude. That would be a dope interview to get on this show. That motherfucker, yeah, he fucking did WWE, NFL, and UFC, bro.
He was in the NFL for 2 minutes, and did he ever even play in the game?
They got him in like one game. He was on practice squad or some shit. Hey, but look, he played for the Vikings, dude. It doesn't matter. He made the team. So he's been top tier in what's the name? Like, because you got to be top tier to make the team. You just got to be cream of the crop to be on the team. Like, you can make the motherfucker, but to be actually on it, you got to be cream of the crop. So definitely some good cards to go back and watch. But
what do you think about the people that argue that Brock Lesnar should be in the UFC Hall of Fame?
I think he should. I'd say Brock Lesnar should be in the UFC Hall of Fame, not off of his record, but off sheer culture.
So basically the same reason Cowboy should be in there.
Yes, 100%.
Okay,
yeah.
so if you're someone who considers Cowboy should be in there, then yes, Brock should be in there. But if you take Cowboy out of that, you look at the rest of the people in the Hall of Fame, he's not to that caliber.
Yeah, fact. I feel like culture.
Because that's the thing is that because that's the thing is that like being in the UFC Hall of Fame is not just about who the best fighters in the world were. It's also about who contributed to growing the sport in new ways.
100%.
It's the reason why out of all those eras of champions where that light heavyweight title was switching, the one that deserves it the most, I'd say, is Lyoto Machida, because not only did he prove that karate worked in MMA, but he revolutionized striking in MMA, where now people use karate tactics and techniques, even if they had zero karate background.
100%. Well, we're going to see, man. Like I said, man, it's interesting having these conversations. And we just got to give it time to pan things out. But before we go, because my boy's got a hard stop at 150 today, and I got to give him at least 10 minutes to get his stuff. So I'm actually going to give him 13 minutes to get his picks in. So you already know what time it is. We spent the whole fucking month waiting on these, man. It's time to get some motherfucking money. My boy MMA Pickers is going to give y'all his picks of the week. Me and Mac Tyson are going to drop out, give him the full screen, and let him do his motherfucking thing, baby. There you go, baby.
A starving man who just reached the end of the desert and got to a big, beautiful lake.
All right, hold on. Let me get the screen up for you. Let's get you here. No, here. Why did... Oh, now I know how to do this. Okay.
Okay. I'll just run through these one by one, and then I'll chuck out a couple parlays for you guys. A couple of short ones. 2025 is going to be the year of slightly more conservative picks, higher winning percentage, but we're going to make some money. 2025 is going to be a prosperous year, so let's start off strong. We're looking at Aliyev versus Selecki. Selecki's a longtime jiu-jitsu fighter, coming off a couple tough losses, including a slam knockout to Jakar Close. Only 12 of those in UFC history, fun fact. Aliyev is a massive favorite, as he should be. He's going to have a big wrestling advantage. He should have the grappling acumen to be able to avoid Joe Selecki's offense off of his back. Because, like I said, he is a seasoned jiu-jitsu practitioner. Aliyev should also have an advantage in the striking department, as well as in the conditioning department. He's a huge favorite. He's like a minus 800. There's not a lot of meat on the bone here. I would say probably the best bet is that Aliyev is just going to struggle my boy over here, and we'll go with the over 2.5 at minus 345. But there's just really not a lot of meat on the bone for this fight, so we can move on to the next one. Paulo, you want to scroll? Yeah, there we go. Give me Klein versus Dudikova. There we go. Same thing with this fight. Extremely likely that Fatima Klein's going to win a convincing decision. Odds aren't really worth touching. She's a minus 800 by decision. It's very close to that. Over 2.5 is about the same odds as the fight before. That's really the only thing here worth touching. Maybe using it as a parlay booster. The rest of it, it's just too lopsided. There's no money to be made on the money lines. So for Fatima Klein versus Victoria Dudikova, we'll also take the over 2.5. Okay, this one's a little bit more interesting. So we have Magomed Godzilla versus Bruno Lopez. So Bruno Lopez, massive power in his hands, has shown a lot of weaknesses for takedown defense and his wrestling. It's just not great. He's kind of a sloppy striker, not very accurate, but like I said, he hits very hard. He tries to make the fight messy. On the other side, Godzilla's a lot more calculated, very strong grappler. I've had my coffee today. Very strong grappler, Very good, significant strike accuracy. Doesn't quite have the same power as Lopez, but he does have a little bit better technical boxing, in my opinion. I like him to get this done. I think it'll likely be a decision. The money line on him by decision right now is sitting at a plus 225. Although Vegas seems to think there's an equal chance of a knockout or a decision for Godzilov, there's definitely a very real chance he gets it done by ground and pound on the ground. I just think Bruno Lopez will have adequate enough jiu-jitsu at least to be able to protect himself from getting finished. So that being said, Magomedov Godzilov, the picks here are going to be money line, and I would say use that as a parlay booster, or maybe pair it with one of those over 2.5s. You'll probably get pretty close to 1-1 odds. Or if you want to risk it for the biscuit, let's say the official pick is Godzilov by decision plus 225 on DraftKings. Looks like it's about plus 210 over here. All right, next one up. Okay, so we have Ernesta. Oh wow, I'm about to pull an Apollo here. Karate versus Nicole Cagliari, and I'm not as familiar with Ernesta Katakari as I'm with Nicole Cagliari, but I'm not super impressed with Nicole Cagliari. She has not looked too good in her last couple of outings. I can't even figure out what her strengths are. Her striking volume was very low in her last fight. She gave up a lot of ground control time. I mean, I would say probably the best value here is to take Ernesta by decision. It's at about pick 'em money right now. I think there's an extremely strong chance of that happening. Or if you want a parlay booster, again, common theme on this one, but the over 2.5 for this fight's at about a minus 250 on DraftKings, and that's a pretty solid line as well. Although I think I'm going to ride the minus 130 decision. I think that's the best available bet for this fight here. Now we get to some of the more fun ones. I'm not super excited about these first four, except maybe the Bruno Lopez fight. But this is the guy we spoke about earlier in the show. This is Jacoby Smith. I am extremely hyped on this guy. I think he's the best prospect in the UFC since Bo Nickel and Khamzat Chimaev. Incredibly decorated college wrestler. Very, very good striking abilities too. He's put a lot of time into his striking. He's 9-0 in MMA. He didn't lose a single second of his Dana White Contender Series fight. Literally not a single second of that fight. Pretty much the majority of the fight, he was in a domineering top position, either half guard, mount, side control, just landing vicious ground and pound. This guy's a go-getter. He's a freak athlete. He hits like hell, and he's got a dog in him. He's super aggressive. Preston Parsons, on the other hand, decent fighter, pretty tough also, pretty aggressive, a little bit more sloppy, likes to brawl, likes to push guys against the cage. Doesn't quite put out the same amount of volume. And I don't think he'll have the grappling to be able to keep up with Smith over here. So we're just going to say Smith is the easy pick here. Holy cow. I got him at minus 300. I'm looking on DraftKings now. He's all the way up to a minus 600. The over 1.5 is at minus 215. I actually think that's not too bad because Preston Parsons is pretty durable. But I like Jacoby Smith by KO at minus 110. I really like that line. Decision plus 180 is also a decent bet if you're feeling that more. But that minus 110 is really speaking to me after watching his Dana White Contender Series and seeing how aggressively he pursues the ground and pound. I'm going to take that KO at minus 110. I quite like that. All right. Next one is one of my big underdog picks, and the line is moving rapidly in his favor, so you better get this while you can. Thiago Moises versus Trey Ogden.
Bro, 1 second, though. Did you notice they turned all of these off already?
I heard my picks.
All right, I'm out of here. I
don't want the people to make money. All right, so we got Thiago Moises and Trey Ogden. And Thiago Moises, if you guys remember, not too long ago, a couple of years ago, actually gave Islam a pretty difficult fight. But since then, he's just looked very lackluster. He got his brains battered by BSD. and he just hasn't been the same since. Trey Ogden, on the other hand, has been on a hot streak. He has very, very impressive top control. I mean, when this guy gets on you, you're not going anywhere. He just smother f's the hell out of guys. He's going to be coming in the bigger fighter, the stronger fighter, the fighter who is, even though older, has probably taken less damage between the two. And I actually think he's a better striker as well. So I'm going to rock with him as the underdog. The money line bet's easy. That's plus 145. Ogden by decision is my most likely outcome. That's at plus 240. I would say put a solid unit on the money line and put a sprinkle on Ogden by decision because there's a very high likelihood that if he wins, it will be a decision. He's not an aggressive finisher. He's a very conservative fighter. He likes to guarantee himself the win. Okay, next one. Let's go Marco Tulio Silva versus Ihor Porteria. This is a very, very interesting one. Marco Tulio, he's coming in here. He hasn't had a loss in literally years. I think he's 12-1 in his career. And let me just double check here. His last loss was 7 fights ago. So he's coming in hot. He's coming off the Contender Series. Ihor Porteria has had a lot of ups and downs. He gave us probably what would have been a fight of the year contender if anybody actually watched it and it wasn't on the early prelims against Rodolfo Vieira last year. And then immediately went to get choked out by Michel Becerra in like a minute. Backflip, guard passed, and then guillotine choked on the feet. So Ihor Porteria's all over the place. You know, he'll go out, he'll beat OSP as an underdog, and then he'll get knocked out in his next fight. You never know which Ihor Porteria you're going to get. As far as what the potential is for Ihor Porteria, yeah, he's very, very fast. He can hit very hard. He's skilled. He's durable. He's shown us a lot of good things. I just think against Tulio, he's going to be a little outgunned on the feet over here. He may have a speed advantage, possibly, but the power coming back from Tulio, I just don't see this going Porteria's way. Tulio's got the kind of power that makes you change your mind about your career. So I'm going to rock with Marco Tulio here. I think he has a strong chance to get this one done. Moneyline's not really worth much. I don't really want to touch the over 1.5 because of that power. I think the only bet that's really worth touching here is Marco Tulio Silva minus 165 for the knockout. And Porteria's been chinned a lot lately. I mean, you know, that chin goes. Chins don't recover and chins don't get better over time. So let's take Tulio Silva for a knockout. Let's hope he can get it done. Okay. Next one. We talked about this one on the show already. Johnson versus Bunez. Johnson's at a minus 175 right now on the money line. Decision is at a plus 175. I'm just going to simply say put a unit on the money line, put a sprinkle on the decision for Jose Johnson. I'm sorry, I'm saying it funny. All right. Now we get to the main card. Punale Soriano versus Euros Medic. I hate Euros Medic because he knocked out my teammate, but goddamn, I respect him. He's an incredible kickboxer. He has amazing striking. He's very, very quick, and he can put your lights out real fast. Soriano's a little bit more well-rounded. He's going to probably come in the smaller fighter. He definitely has a better grappling base, a little bit better wrestling. We have seen Medic improve his wrestling since getting smothered by Mike Tech Orlobi, but I don't think it'll be quite to the level of Soriano's. So this fight will come down to, will it play out on the feet or will Soriano be able to get it to the ground, in my opinion. I do think even if it plays out on the feet, Soriano's a pretty durable guy. So I'm not going to pick a winner in this fight, but I am going to take the over 1.5, which is sitting at a minus 150 right now on DraftKings. I think that's a pretty decent line for the chances this goes over, because if Soriano implements his game plan, he'll log a lot of ground control time, and even if he doesn't, he does have a hell of a chin on him. So I think Euros Medic does have a chance to finish him later in the fight, but he's going to be hard-pressed to finish him early. Not that it's impossible. He does have first-round knockouts, but it's not very likely as far as I'm concerned. Next fight we've already spoken about in detail as well, Christian Rodriguez versus Austin Bashi. Austin Bashi, incredible fighter, young prospect coming off a Dana White Contender Series. 13-0, Christian Rodriguez. He is the hype killer. He likes to miss weight and beat undefeated fighters. So we jokingly said before, watch the scales, but we'll give you the real bets now. I like Austin Bashi at minus 250. I think that's a very generous line. I know it's the ESPN bet has it at minus 265. Okay, it's the same thing. I really think he's going to be a very tough test for Rodriguez. Rodriguez was the bigger fighter, especially due to missing weight against Simon Rosas. But Bashi's like a little bodybuilder. I don't think Rodriguez is going to be able to bully him with size. Another thing that Rodriguez was able to take advantage of in both of those other fights was the gas tanks of Rosas and Simon, who were probably used to most of their fights being finished. Bashi, we've seen him go pretty much at least 2 to 2.5 rounds sprinting. Not like this guy went 2 and 2.5 rounds and didn't gas out. In his Dana White Contender Series fight, he literally sprinted through 2 rounds, like full pace. And I don't know if you guys, when the last time you guys have tried to go outside and do sprints is. My fat ass can sprint for 15 seconds, and then I'm completely exhausted like I just ran a marathon. So this dude was literally going balls to the wall, pedal to the metal for 10 minutes straight. I was extremely impressed with his cardio. I think this is going to be a nightmare matchup for Rodriguez. I think Bashi's going to come in the stronger grappler, the stronger striker, and the more well-rounded fighter, and he's younger with better cardio. I think it's going to be a long night for Rodriguez. So we'll rock Bashi, minus 265, and I'm kind of tempted to take Bashi by the finish since he is going to very aggressively pursue the finish. I don't know if it'll be a KO or a sub, but Bashi by finish is plus 275. So that's going to be KO or sub. That's going to be our long shot for the day. Plus 275. Okay. All right. We're going to go through these last couple fights. We got Chris Curtis, Roman Koployev. Don't need to get too deep into this. We spent a lot of time discussing this on the show. Would love to rock with Chris Curtis. I'm not gonna. Personally, I love Chris Curtis too much to bet against him, but the smart money here is going to be on Roman Koployev. It's a minus 225 on the money line. That's a great parlay booster. And Roman Koployev by decision, which is probably the most likely outcome of this fight, is at a plus 100. So while I can't partake in this money because of my irrational love of Chris Curtis and Extreme Couture, I hope you guys make some money off of this fight. All right, we got Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. And my pick might surprise a lot of people with this. Even though I do think Cesar Almeida is going to win, I'm actually going to take Abdul Razak Al-Hassan. I really like the plus 205 odds on him. Cesar Almeida will be the better striker in this matchup, but Abdul Razak Al-Hassan will have a lot of size on him, and he will be looking to use his wrestling advantage. We have seen good jiu-jitsu from Cesar Almeida, but we have seen him struggle to get back onto his feet. If Abdul Razak Al-Hassan manages to get into a top control position, I do strongly believe he will finish the fight from there. He's shown dominant ground and pound when he's able to acquire that position. And this is somebody who specifically has a weakness in wrestling. Just because of that very specific path to victory that I see, I'm willing to take a risk on a plus 205 money line on Abdul Razak and a sprinkle, just a little sprinkle on Abdul Razak by a knockout at plus 350. All right, next fight on. Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to fight Carlston Harris. I'm not touching this one with a 40-foot pole. Santiago Ponzinibbio is kind of the same as Ihor. Sometimes he's fantastic. Sometimes he's terrible. Carlston Harris is really good. I think Santiago is the better and more unpredictable fighter. So I'm not even going to touch this fight personally. The one money line I might touch in that fight is the over 2.5. But both of these guys have been chinned before, so if you're going to touch it, that's the one, but it's just too hard to call. And then we're going to go Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Ribas. We got Dern sitting at a plus 160, Ribas at a minus 192 on DraftKings. I really think Ribas will have the tools to get this done. Dern's biggest problem is she has great jiu-jitsu and poor takedowns. She does not have a good ability to get the fights to the ground, and that's been her downfall over and over and over again. Ribas is much more well-rounded. I think she has good enough wrestling and jiu-jitsu that she'll be able to protect herself in those situations, and enough of a striking advantage that when it's on the feet, it's going to be all Ribas all day. Because of that, Ribas minus 192 is a great pick. And then Ribas by decision is sitting at a minus 115. I think there's a very low chance that Ribas finishes her. But, minus 115. It's a nice boost from minus 192. So I would say Reboss decision minus 115. Lock that shit in. Let me give you guys one or two parlays that I really liked that I logged earlier. So we had the first leg was going to be Fatima Klein versus Victoria Dudikova, and that's the over 2.5. The second leg, you're going to bet Magomed Godzulayev to beat Bruno Lopez on the money line. And then Ernesta Katakari versus Nicole Cagliari. We're going to take Ernesta. We're going to take the fight to go over 2.5. I'm sorry. And that total payout is a plus 153. That's plus money. That's for the first three fights of the night. That's the fight 2, 3, and 4 for the night. So you can start the early prelims off strong. Had Jacoby Smith in my other parlay, but it's almost not even worth it to put him in there. But we're so confident we're going to put him in anyways. And we'll parlay him with Silva and Jose Johnson, and that gives us even money plus 117 odds. And we're going to do we'll do a long shot. This is for the DGens out there. This is for the Apollo bettors. Take this instead of your 11-legger. It'll pay much better. Trey Ogden to win by decision. We're going to take Tulio Silva by KO. Soriano versus Medic over 1.5. And Bashi by double chance finish. And that is going to pay us plus 3,117. So $10 will pay out $321. Nice little.
Did you say a lot of money? All I heard was a lot of money. That's
plus
all
3,000. That'll be our DGen parlay. We got
I love it.
KO, the over 1.5, and Bashi by KO TKO sub.
Let's fucking go. I love it, man.
That's all for me.
All right. Well, Pickers has to go, and so do I as well. Tyson, yeah, he went over a little bit. Nah, it's all good, bro. As long as I didn't go over, as long as I gave you amount of time. If you go over, that's on you. If I give you the right amount of time, I did my thing. Look, we love you guys. We love you guys, man. Appreciate y'all. This is episode 19 of The Warrior's Voice. Next week will be episode 20. Holy shit. We got to do something big for you guys. I'm going to figure out something. We do have something big, though. We got Edgar Scrivers coming, and we have Macaco Flow following him. Those are two champs, former, current, amazing. We'll have a great show. We'll put together some fun stuff for the audience.
20 episodes, 20 beers.
20 episodes, 20 fucking beers. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. We're going to be fucked up, but we'll figure it out. All right. Love you guys. Catch you next week. Appreciate you. Shout out Pickers for his picks. Always shout out Mac Tyson for showing up, giving us that infinite knowledge that he has. And I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces.